gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about SmackDown, which, if we're being fair, there wasn't really a lot going on, but I do have some more news for you guys who may be wondering how you're going to be able to watch WWE programming from here on out and how you could possibly save a little coin watching some of the stuff. So just bear with me while we get through SmackDown, and then I'll tell you how you can do that. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I hope you guys enjoyed SmackDown today. It was very, very simple, very clean. Not a lot of stuff going on the show. Sorry about that. TV. Not a lot of stuff going on the show, but enough to keep you invested and intrigued. So let's get into it. The show opened up with Becky Lynch, was really surprising. I was like, oh, okay, so Beckula's here. Hi, Kira. How are you? It's rare I see my new folk come in and they be at the top. Usually it be the regulars, but Kira's in here first. So hey. Hi, Kayla. Kayla's a regular. Kayla's a moderator. So, anywhoosies, I'm gonna just tell y'all what had happened. So Becky showed up, and Becky, was basically in Dublin, Ireland. That's her hometown, and this is the first time that they've done a televised show. Yes, finally, you finished early. Finished early doing what? They finally did a televised show from Dublin, Ireland, and this was like something that was on Becky's bucket list. So of course she was stoked, and she was the first one out there, which we love that for her. I wish they would do that for everybody else in their hometowns, except for Logan Paul. We'll get to him in a second. But of course, she came out there, and I'm gonna tell you something when it comes to promos, especially when I don't understand, like, the whole thing was for her to have her moment out of character and then get back into character, right? But less is more. And in my opinion, Becky should have been cut off right when she started going in on the WWE universe in Dublin, saying that they didn't deserve it, they weren't shit. Like, that is exactly when Tiffany Stratton should have came out there. I don't know why they gave her such a long time to cut that promo, but it was long, it was arduous, and it was unnecessary. It was just very, very exhausting. And I was just like, okay, oh, you finished SmackDown early. Okay. I was just like, oh God. Like, I'm like, okay, when are we going to get to like the point, And then Tiffany came out there, and basically she was like, this is not your show, honey. You're on the wrong show, which, in all fairness, she was correct. Um, but this led to Nia Jax's ass coming out there, and I'm still pissed at them for letting Nia go over on uh Lash Legend and not giving Lash the opportunity to be able to beat Nia. I didn't like that at all. I still don't like it, because what did that do for Lash other than prove that she can go the distance? It didn't give her anything further. And I know that they're going to probably move her into the program with Jada Parker, which I'm fine with, but it's just like, I really wish they would have let her go over on Nia Jax. I really do. And her being the bougie bully, like, that would have given her all of the confidence to just be up in bitches shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really hate that they didn't give her that opportunity. That sucks. But anyways, Nia's back going after Tiffany's title. I don't understand why. She lost fair and square to Tiffany Stratton. She should be nowhere near that fucking title. Oh my God, that lady's face is huge. But anyways, she should be nowhere near that championship, in my opinion. But everybody, there ain't enough superstars on SmackDown in the women's division for them to have them going over there. So, they got Chelsea in the mid card with Alba and Piper. They have Michin going back after the U.S. title. They got fuck ass Kiana back now, and she's going with Julia, which they haven't had Julia on TV and wrestling in months. And then they don't have nobody else. Bianca is still out waiting to get cleared with her finger. Jade Cargill is the closest thing you got. Tiffany Stratton is still at the top, and then you got Nia Jax. I really need them to port some people over from NXT or get some people from Raw to go to SmackDown, because it is not an even playing field when it comes to this women's division. And it's no shade to be Fab and everything like that, but She's not in that title scene in the tippy top either. And I need them to do something about that. Like bring Rhea over there and have Rhea causing chaos on SmackDown. Something else needs to happen other than what we're seeing in the women's division. But that's just me. We're going to move forward. Respectfully, it is. I don't mind it being central focused on the tag team division, but I don't know if it's that Road Dogg lacks the capacity to be able to book other things. I don't know what it is, but it's like Road Dogg and Triple H either hyper focus on one thing and leave something else to the wayside, or they simply just don't. They don't have no balance. And Shawn Michaels is like the best of all of them because for whatever reason, he fully understands how to book all of them. And I guess it would be because he's existed in all divisions except for the women's division. He's been a singles competitor. He's been a um a tag team, so he understands how to do it all. And I think that's just easier. But he also understands that the women's division is your core. The women's division is what's going to boost you. The women's division is what's going to put you over. They're going to be your holding, your saving grace. He understands that, so he books it that way. And the men still get their time and they still get their shine either way. But he books very heavy women. And I'm just like, you don't have to book exactly like Shawn Michaels, but you should take your cues from him because goddamn, like you're not taking the opportunities to build up respective people to go after those titles. If you ask me, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, what the fuck? But like right now, Chelsea Green is probably one of the biggest women's superstars in your roster on SmackDown right now. She is the only person out of all of the women, sans Bianca, who can literally have that crowd cheering for her unwaveringly, no matter if she's a heel, a face, or an anti hero. It doesn't matter. If it was me, I would put that title on Chelsea Green next year. I would do it. She would be building herself up to get that championship. She would be just annoying enough for people to want her to lose. You have her go through people like Jade Cargill, like Tiffany Stratton, even Nia Jax. She already got her secret her service, so she's already set like that. And then if you want to drop the title to somebody else like Bianca again, which you it's possible, but it doesn't have to be. If you got Rhea coming over, you can do it that way. It doesn't matter, but give it to Chelsea. Let Chelsea have some time with that championship. Let it be a moment for Chelsea. And I'm talking like a cool 3 to 4 months. Maybe even longer. The max time I would give Chelsea as champion is 6 months, because she would give you that hunger and need to give somebody else the title. She would beat people in such a slimy faction and in such a enrageful way that people would get mad and want to see her lose. They want to see who's going to be able to take her out. She's got two women, some of the best wrestlers in the business in Alba Fire and Piper, flanking her. You can cause dissension in that group with that title. Like, you have great potential with Chelsea in the Secret Hair Service. She's funny, she's campy, and she can be nasty and vicious. She has it all. Like, I really think you need to focus on Chelsea being built up to go after that championship. She needs to be the next one. Tiffany, she ain't never been ready to be champion, if we being honest. And right now, if you really wanted to give Jade the title, you should have gave it to her at SummerSlam. You should have just gave it to her at SummerSlam. I'm sorry, I had to get that out. Let me see what Nicole was saying earlier. Heard on. She said, call up Soul Ruka and Fowler. Speaking of Soul Ruka is highly favored backstage amongst all of the higher ups and creative. She is one of the front runners to be called up to the main roster. And just recently, I heard that they ended WWE Speed over on X. They are no longer going to be doing it on X. I don't know what they're going to do. This little mini section had titles and everything, and they have not mentioned what they're going to do with it. Personally, I think it should go over to Peacock. You're keeping your deal with Peacock, and you have NXT pay per views being on Peacock exclusively. So why not just send WWE Speed over there? I haven't heard what they're going to do with it, but it's no longer going to be on X. Hell, they could call up Jada. I agree. I feel like, especially if you're never going to give Lash Legend that title, Jada Parker, Lash Legend, Fallon, Soul Ruka. And if you're not going to give Jordan Grace a championship, her. They all need to be brought up, and then you need one more, JC. Bring up JC after she dropped her title. That's six women. You can split them up between Raw and SmackDown. Figure out how you want that to roll. And then you need to reshuffle these women so you have an even kill of champions, former champions. You got an even kill of veterans and current budding superstars. You need a shakeup immediately. Took them this long to realize it ain't working. They could put it on Tubi. I didn't. Okay. I was gonna eat some Caesar dressing. But anyways, they decided after Jade came out to help protect Tiffany, Nia came out, and they attacked Tiffany Stratton. It was a tag team match. That was the main event. So all throughout the night, we kept seeing the Wyatt Six in the background of just about everybody having conversations about championships. We saw the Wyatt Six in the background for, what is going on with this damn thing? Thank you. Montez Ford and the Street Profits were coming in. We saw everybody come in, but we saw MFT going up to Big Jim and Sami Zayn congratulating Jim on his wife and him expecting. Okay. And he was like, "You can name your baby after me." And I'm like, nah, we cool. We don't need a baby named Solo. We barely want you. Okay. Shit. So this led to, obviously, the champ was going after Sammy and was like, "You don't need to be." He was like, "What we gonna get? Another underdog story? Good old underdog Sammy? Is that what we gonna get?" Sammy was like, nah. He was like, "You're not talking to underdog Sammy. You're talking to WrestleMania main event Sami Zayn." And I was like, "You better talk your shit, Samuel. You better talk it and walk it." So I was like, I'm like, "Yeah, that ain't never been your bag. That ain't never been your person. That ain't never been your bag." So Solo and the MFTs walked away. Now there was a match between the Street Profits and the MFTs, and I want y'all to let y'all in on a little something. Have y'all been on Montez Ford's social media as of lately? Because Montez Ford had a little video pop up on my feed, and I happened to see it, and I said, "Huh, what is this?" And Montez Ford was having a little conversation with himself. And himself said, "If you don't get your shit together and get back to the Street Profits as you were, reclaiming your championship, being dominant in this tag team division, showing everybody what you're capable of and what you can do, I'm going to come out and I'm going to take over. And I know that's not what you want. So you better get to business." And I said, "Wait a minute." I was like, "I low key want this version." I was like, "Where is he? Is he available? I would like for him to come out. I would. I would like to see him. I want to see what he has going on. I need to see him." Hello, Hiram. Hi. You saw it, Kira. You saw it. She says Psalms 25 and 7 is crazy too. Now, for those of you who are not, you are not religious. I gotta go to my Bible app. I have to go to the Bible app because I ain't got my Bible in front of me. Where is my Bible? Oh Lord. The Lord is like, yes, where is your Bible? Where is it? Like, okay, God, listen. I no, I have not been reading my Bible. I apologize. Okay? Please. Let's not attack me. let's, let's get to the nitty gritty. Okay. I had to pull it up, child. Now, Psalms 25 and 7 from the King James Version says, and I quote, remember not the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions. According to thy mercy, remember thou me for thy goodness' sake, O Lord. Keep that in mind. That's all I'm going to tell you. And if you were paying attention to Montez Ford's video, in the background, there was an ominous sound saying gangster over and over again. It's very, very interesting. Octavius, come here. Where is the is it on the door in Papa's in his Papa's refrigerator?
What?
The Caesar dressing?
Yeah.
Go in your grandfather's refrigerator and give me the Caesar dressing. You have to look. You read the bottle. It says Ken's. Isn't it the Ken's? It's Ken's Caesar dressing. Go and get it, please. No, Junior. Downstairs, Junior. Thank you. He said, everybody reach into in your bag and grab your Bibles and turn the page. We're going to Psalms.
Read.
Read. I didn't see Montez, but I did see Oscar's promo she did Monday after the argument. I saw that too. Oscar said, listen, it particularly hurt me that she dismissed me like that and took on Rhea Ripley like that. We'll get to Oscar on Monday. But I just wanted y'all to know that that's what I saw from Montez. It was very interesting. I don't think Montez and Dawkins have to break up violently. Where you get this from? Where's the squeeze bottle?
It's on the door. He must have got the other one.
How long this one been in there? Because y'all just grab everything and I'll be done died trying to eat this. Anyway, not they picking at us. Hyra said, thank you, readers. And thank you, ushers. You may be seated. Ciao. Anyways, during this match with MFT and the Street Profits, MFT tried to cheat. And this led Big Jim and Sami Zayn to come out and take out the cheaters. And this allowed for the Street Profits to get the win. Thus allowing the Street Profits to now go up against Awesome Miz, Miz and Carmelo next week. And they will be the ones to determine who's going to compete against the Wyatts. Now, all night, every time a tag team was in the back or somebody that the Wyatts deemed to be somebody to pay attention to, they were seen in the backdrop of just about everybody. Case in point, Julia was talking to Mia Yim, and Mia Yim was making it very clear that she wants her title shot. So she says she's been calling fuck ass Kiana. Kiana keeps ignoring her phone calls, don't want to take no messages, won't read her email. So she was like, fuck you, ho. I'm gonna go after the bitch who I know got the championship. You, me, title, let's do it. And she was like, fuck ass Kiana was like, well, you're gonna have to go through me first. She was like, oh, wonderful. I will have no problem getting your ass out the way and then going after Julia. She said, I get to have a 2-for-1 special. Great. See you in the ring, bitch. I was like, the titties finally settled. You stop wearing them push ups. You realize you didn't have to wear a push up no more. Oh, man, itch. Oh my God. Anywho, so we had that little segment. Now, Junior, chill. Charlotte came out there, but her homegirl and the other half of her tag team, Bliss wasn't there. I don't think Bliss is on the European tour this time. I don't think she's there because she might be because they defending them titles in Paris, but it's not at Clash in Paris. It's at their live show that they gonna have before Clash in Paris next week. She's there. I don't think she there right now because Charlotte was out there by herself. I didn't see Bliss out there. And of course, she went up against Piper. Now, there was a lot of interference from Chelsea and Alba Fire, costing Charlotte this match. Charlotte had this match won, but because Chelsea raked her in the eyes, this caused Charlotte enough distraction for Piper to take Charlotte out. And Charlotte ended up losing and Piper won. Now, because Piper and them have pinned, Piper has pinned one half of the champions. This has granted them a title shot. So Alba Fire and Piper, the Secret Her Service, will face off against Charlexa, as they call them online, next week. Now, this match between R-Truth and uh Aleister Black didn't go the way everybody expected. We expected Ryan Killings to show up in Dublin, Ireland, but Ryan Killings took a flight to Dublin, Georgia, and he said, I didn't know, there was another Dublin, but I sent a nice replacement to come and help you out, and a replacement he got in Damian Priest. Damian Priest came out there, and then both of them dudes started trying to beat the brakes off each other. Ooh, that's creepy as fuck. Right, I can see that. They out there fighting and tearing each other down, and they had to send out security and everything else to come and get these two men separated, and now there is a match, I believe, set up for them next week as well. What we got here is John Cena. John Cena got ready to address the Dublin crowd, but that didn't work out too well in his favor as Logan Paul came out and was getting booed out the rafters. However, the Dublin, Ireland audience allowed him enough time to speak, but he was being drowned out so much that he was crashing out in the worst way possible. Now, John Cena let him say his piece, and he brought up his cohabitation agreement with Nikki Bella. He said that he's now an imposter, no longer the great John Cena that he used to be. Oh, nay. He's not the guy that he was, and he's no longer a part of our industry. And John Cena just cut that man as deep as he could. He said, baby, the reason why they don't trust or believe what you're saying is because you're a liar. You're a taker. You're a parasite. You came into this business not with humility, trying to learn and soak up things. You came in here and you brought your piss water you call fucking Prime and put it on display for everybody to see. You have no humility, and all you care about is what everybody else sees, what everybody gets to do. He said, I didn't come into WWE and was a main eventer and only wrestling on live PLEs and showing up in major towns. I was here week in and week out, wrestling everywhere, sometimes on TV, and a lot of times it wasn't. He said, I battled Sheamus here in this arena, and there was no televised match for that. So he said, no, It ain't about your skill and what you're good at. He said you could be one of the greatest of all time in this ring, but if you don't have no humility and all you care about is what people are telling you or how people feel, then well, you obviously don't understand what it means to be a wrestler. He said this is never going to be about you. Never. It's always about them. They run the show. And whether you like it or not, it's their house. And I was like, talk to him nice. Talk to him nice, Johnny boy. Serve his bitch ass. Camp back from bopping around with Lola. Ooh, now he was bopping. She said he came back from bopping around with Lola. I mean, if that's what he liked, then sure. I mean, it's better than what I thought he was gonna pick. I can tell you that. Anyways, um, uh, John Cena just cut his ass deep, and the promo was some real shit. And then Logan Paul pushed him and was low key trying to bully him on some bitch nigga shit. And it didn't work. He ended up getting attitude adjustment in the ring. Now after this, there was a series of unfortunate events that's very interesting. Drew McIntyre showed up in the ring after they did not have an update from Cody Rhodes. For whatever reason, there's no update. Drew McIntyre came out again to antagonize Cody and goad him into coming out of hiding or whatever the fuck is going on. But he forgot that there was a person that he screwed over at SummerSlam. And well, Randall came out there and RKO'd the shit out of Drew. Just laid his ass out, okay? Now Drew McIntyre's bitch ass goes in the back and tells Logan Paul, you got played, you got bitched in the middle of the ring, and you need to do something about it. You can't just go off like that and let it be what it is. If you're gonna be in this business, you can't let people just dog you out like that. So Logan Paul waited until the show was over, waited until Nikki had some a message from Brock Lesnar, and he moved Nick Aldis out the way and sucker punched John Cena like he always do. That was it. The rest of the show was a match between Nia Jax, Becky, Jade, and Tiffany. Jade and Tiffany ended up winning, and that was it. SmackDown was over. The one thing I really want SmackDown to do is decide what it wants to be. Raw has a very definitive definition of who they are and what they want themselves to be seen as. SmackDown seems to be fighting within itself. I don't know if it's the addition of John Cena, but even then, that can't be that bad. John Cena's there, so you should be able to operate accordingly. Y'all got to figure out what your identity is on SmackDown, because right now, what we're getting is somebody who really doesn't understand how to book everybody, and we're getting lazy storylines for the women, lackadaisical storylines for the mid card with the men. We're getting some things when it comes to Miz and Carmelo Hayes, but we're not getting anything. Y'all are resting solely on John Cena and his hype of a retirement. You're barely giving Cody any flack, anything going. And you've got so much potential with this SmackDown roster. You are not using it to its greatest potential. And I need y'all to figure out what you're going to do, because at this point, it's not worth watching. It's not worth watching. At least when we was at 3 hours, the filler stuff we were getting had to be put in there because they had to fill the 3 hours. We got multiple matches. The matches were coming at us strong. You know what I'm saying? We were able to be entertained within those 3 hours. It was a rarity that it was a shitty show. But now that you guys don't have the time, it's almost as if you don't understand where to put people or how to move or how this should look to us as fans. And I need you to sit your asses down, find out what your identity is on SmackDown, and proceed accordingly. Because if you don't, your numbers are going to begin to tank. And y'all giving cheap pops and cheap heel turns to people ain't gonna be your saving grace. You gotta have something substantial, something solid. There ain't no more bloodlines, so start working towards building something else. Fix this. Now, back to this. Some of y'all may be upset that you can't watch some of these programs that's coming out for ESPN and you don't want to pay the 30. There are a few places you can go that includes the new ESPN app in your bundles.
I can't pay the $5.
Hold on, y'all. All right. So, currently, right now, the TV services that include ESPN in bundles are Hulu Plus Live TV, Fubo or Fubo, is that how you say it? Direct TV Stream,
Hey, football.
Sling TV, and YouTube TV. If you are somebody who has cable, they have packages as oh my god. Spectrum just announced that they have Hulu. I mean not Hulu, but they have ESPN as a part of a package. You do not have to pay for that. So some of y'all who have been missing watching SmackDown, you can't watch these shows or whatever because they're on regular network television. You can come in and watch because you can get a smaller package with Spectrum or DirecTV, or you can get it with Sling and ESPN, and everything will be included. You don't have to worry about it being too much or too expensive. Budget this out for yourself so that you can watch it because WrestlePalooza is going to be in Indianapolis. It's going to be next month on Saturday, September 20th, and it will stream exclusively in the States to ESPN. And then everywhere else, you'll be able to get it internationally through Netflix. Now, I'm not telling you to do nothing nefarious, but I'm telling you that there are really good VPNs out there that actually exist. You do with that what you will. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get my ass up out of here. Okay? I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And we gonna be out. Now, next week I might be going back to StreamYard because while I like Riverside for editing purposes, StreamYard is a better streaming app, but I do like Riverside's amenities, if that makes sense, with the sounds and everything. I love that for me. I don't know. I have to pick one of these and move forward. But next week it's Clash in Paris. This Sunday is NXT Heatwave. So I will be back Sunday after NXT Heatwave to talk about the show and where everything is headed. Okay? I'm going to show y'all the card for NXT Heatwave as it is for right now. Oh, well, good for her. Love that for Lola. Anyways, so let me just show y'all the card for NXT Heatwave right quick. We just gonna go to WWE's website and pull it up. Ain't gonna be nothing crazy, nothing deranged. Okay, so Obafemi is facing off against Javon Evans for the NXT Championship. You have the NXT Tag Team titles being defended against two members of Dark State. Hank and Tank have to defend those titles. They do not know who their opponents will be or which group of opponents they will be going up against. It could be anyone. It could be Sugars. It could be Cutler. It could be Osiris. It could be Dion. Nobody knows. Anyway, Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe are taking their very bitter feud to the mat, and it's gonna be Jordan Grace versus Blake Monroe at NXT Heatwave. JC Jane is defending her TNA Knockouts Championship, and I am praying that this bitch drops this title. Although I feel like Lacey is gonna be somewhere in the mix, like putting a bug in JC's ear that she needs to drop Fallon and them girls, and eventually JC and Fallon will probably be fighting it out for that title, which Lacey, well, Laney, I think it's Laney Reed. Laney Reed might come in and help her win, and then you got a whole thing with that. Like, I have some inkling of that happening very, very soon. But anyways, I want JC Jane to drop this championship to one of these women. I don't give a shit who she drops it to. If she gives it to Ash by Elegance, fine, whatever. Just make her drop it. Okay, just drop it to somebody. Now, Chelsea Green is also teaming up with Ethan Page. She's facing off against Tyra May and Tavion Heights in a mixed tag team match. And then you have Jada Parker, Kaylani Jordan, and Lola Vice. They will be competing in a number one contenders triple threat, which I have a sneaky suspicion that Lash Legend might get involved in this and take out Jada Parker, leaving this match only to Lola Vice and Kaylani, which either one of them could be viable contenders to go after JC Jane's title. So I don't mind that. And I think that's it. I don't think there's no more title matches happening for NXT Heatwave, or no more matches happening for NXT Heatwave. And I think that's where we are. The last thing I want to tell y'all about is Clash in Paris. Okay. Clash in Paris is on Sunday, August 31st. And it will air early. It will be at 2 p.m. on Sunday. Next Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday. Okay. 2 p.m. is when this show is airing. All right. We got John Cena facing off against Logan Paul. Um, we have a fatal four-way for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, and LA Knight will all be battling for this title. You have Roman Reigns facing off against Bronson Reed. This match was made just this past Monday. Roman Reigns is deciding to get some get back on Bronson Reed. Sheamus and Rusev will be in a good old fashioned Donnybrook match. And we know, I think Sheamus hasn't lost a Donnybrook match. He might have lost one. I think he lost one to Jeff Hardy. I can't remember. For now, those are the matches that are booked. Um, they have to reset the women's match for Clash in Paris. So I don't know what they're going to do in terms of the women's match in Clash in Paris, but they said that there will be a women's match there. I don't see Tiffany Stratton defending her title there. I don't know why, but there's no match with her and Jade scheduled to be there, and there's really nothing else going on in terms of the women's division. The tag team titles aren't being defended in Paris, none of it, which is very, very, very crazy. Not Riverside has security. That's crazy. It's just a lot going on. Okay, so those are the shows that are set to go within the next couple of weeks. We have those going. So I will keep you guys posted if anything changes. Make sure you guys keep your ears close to the streets. We're going to have wrestling news next week on Wednesday. I'm going to try and do that with Freestyle Wednesday. We're going to go over NXT next week. I will go over NXT's Heat Wave after the show on Sunday. And of course, on Monday, we'll have our regularly scheduled Monday Night Raw after show. I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.